One forgotten crop produces more protein per square foot than almost any vegetable, costs pennies to grow, and was sacred to the Aztecs. Your ancestors knew its power. It's time you did too. Amaranth fed ancient civilizations for thousands of years. The Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas built empires on this grain. Then Spanish conquistadors banned it, and it nearly disappeared from human cultivation. But amaranth is making a comeback, and for good reason. This plant produces edible seeds packed with complete protein, edible leaves richer in nutrients than spinach, and grows in conditions that would kill conventional crops. It thrives in heat and drought. It tolerates poor soil. And it produces massively from minimal space. Today I'm showing you exactly how to grow amaranth from seed to harvest, planting techniques, care requirements, harvest methods, and how to use both the seeds and leaves for food. This isn't just gardening. It's growing a legitimate survival crop that could feed you and your family. Before we start, comment if you've ever grown amaranth or even tasted it. Most people haven't. That's about to change. If you're interested in growing actual food, not just ornamentals, hit subscribe. This channel is about productive gardens that feed people. Let's start with understanding what makes amaranth so special. Why amaranth matters. Amaranth, the forgotten superfood. Understanding amaranth's value helps you appreciate what you're growing. Nutritional power. Amaranth seeds contain complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. That's rare in plant foods. Protein content is 13 to 14%, higher than wheat, rice, or corn. It's rich in lysine, an amino acid lacking in most grains, high in calcium, iron, magnesium, and phosphorus. Contains vitamin C, which grains typically lack. The leaves are nutritional powerhouses. Higher in calcium than milk per serving, more iron than spinach, rich in vitamins A, C, and K. Historical significance. Aztecs grew amaranth as one of 3 staple crops alongside corn and beans. They made it into ceremonial cakes. Spanish conquistadors banned cultivation because of its religious significance. This ban nearly eliminated amaranth from human cultivation. Imagine banning wheat or rice. That's what happened to amaranth. Modern relevance. Amaranth grows where other crops fail. Heat, drought, poor soil, amaranth handles it. As climate challenges increase, amaranth becomes increasingly relevant. It's naturally gluten-free, important for people with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. Production. Potential. One plant produces 40,000 to 60,000 seeds. A small 10 by 10 foot plot yields several pounds of grain. That's remarkable productivity from minimal space. Why grow it? Because you can produce actual survival-level food from a small garden space, not just supplemental food, actual sustenance. Choosing amaranth varieties. Selecting the right amaranth. Not all amaranth is equal. Different varieties serve different purposes. Grain varieties, grown primarily for seeds. Golden Giant. Large seed heads, buff-colored seeds, heavy production. Best pure grain variety. Hopi Red Dye. Deep red seeds and seed heads. Traditional variety. Excellent grain and dye production. Alegria. Mexican variety bred for popping. Makes puffed amaranth snacks. Leaf varieties, grown for greens. Red Garnet. Deep burgundy leaves. Beautiful and productive. Regrows after cutting. Green Callaloo. Caribbean variety. Mild flavor. Excellent cooking green. Mireya. Fast-growing leaf type. Mild flavor similar to spinach. Dual-purpose varieties. Good for both seeds and leaves. Burgundy. Brilliant red foliage. Produces both edible leaves and viable seeds. Grows 6 to 8 feet tall. Love Lies Bleeding. Dramatic drooping red seed heads. Edible leaves early season, grain harvest later. How to choose. For grain production, choose varieties bred for seed size and abundance. For greens, choose leaf varieties with tender foliage and good regrowth. For both, dual-purpose varieties provide flexibility. For small spaces, grain varieties give you more food per square foot. Ornamental note. Some amaranth is sold as ornamental. These are edible, but often not selected for best flavor or production. Choose varieties bred for food. Where to source? Specialty seed companies, ethnic food seed suppliers, heirloom seed companies. Standard garden centers rarely carry good food amaranth. Planting amaranth. Getting amaranth started. Amaranth is remarkably easy to grow. Understanding planting basics ensures success. Timing. Plant after last frost when soil reaches 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Amaranth is tropical origin and hates cold. One frost kills it. In most climates, plant May through early July. Amaranth grows fast, 60 to 90 days to maturity. Multiple plantings possible in long seasons. Site selection. Full sun is mandatory. Amaranth tolerates partial shade, but seed production drops significantly. Well-drained soil. Amaranth tolerates poor soil, but not waterlogged conditions. Soil preparation. Amaranth tolerates terrible soil, but produces better in decent conditions. Add compost if available. Not required, though. Amaranth actually improves soil. Deep taproots break up compaction and bring up nutrients from deep layers. Planting methods. Direct seeding, best method. Seeds are tiny. Dust-like. Mix with sand for easier distribution. Broadcast over prepared area or plant in rows 1/4 inch deep. If broadcasting, aim for 10 to 15 seeds per square foot initially. Rows should be 18 to 24 inches apart. Starting indoors, possible but unnecessary. Start 2 to 3 weeks before last frost. Transplant after soil warms. Amaranth doesn't love transplanting but tolerates it. Only necessary if you have very short growing season. Seed quantity. Seeds are tiny. 1 ounce contains roughly 100,000 seeds. You don't need much. For 10 by 10 foot plot, 1 teaspoon of seed is plenty. Germination. Seeds germinate in 3 to 7 days in warm soil. Keep surface moist until germination. Seedlings are tiny initially. Look carefully. They're easy to miss. Thinning. When seedlings are 2 to 3 inches tall, thin to final spacing. Grain varieties, 12 to 18 inches apart. Leaf varieties, 6 to 8 inches apart if harvesting continuously. 12 inches if growing to maturity. Eat thinnings as microgreens. They're delicious and nutritious. Caring for amaranth. Low maintenance growing. Once established, amaranth practically grows itself. Understanding minimal needs prevents unnecessary work. Watering. First 3 to 4 weeks. Keep soil moist. Amaranth establishes roots during this period. After establishment, water only during extended drought. Amaranth is remarkably drought tolerant. Deep watering once weekly beats frequent shallow watering. Encourages deep root development. Fertilizing. Amaranth needs almost nothing. It's adapted to grow in poor conditions. If desired, side dress with compost mid-season. Not required, though. Excessive nitrogen produces more leaves, fewer seeds. For grain production, don't over-fertilize. Weeding. Critical first month. Small amaranth seedlings compete poorly with weeds. After amaranth reaches 8 to 12 inches tall, it outcompetes everything. Its shade and deep roots suppress weeds naturally. Thinning for production. Don't skip thinning. Crowded plants produce smaller seed heads and lower yields. Proper spacing allows each plant to develop maximum potential. Pests and diseases. Amaranth has almost no pest problems. Aphids occasionally appear but rarely cause significant damage. Leaf-eating beetles sometimes chew foliage on young plants. Damage is cosmetic and plants outgrow it quickly. No diseases affect amaranth significantly. It's remarkably trouble-free. Supporting tall plants. Grain amaranth grows 4 to 8 feet tall. In exposed locations or very rich soil, plants might need staking. Most gardens don't require support. If plants lean, they still produce fine. The overall care summary. Water until established, then ignore. That's basically it. Amaranth is one of the most hands-off crops you can grow. This is why it's ideal for survival gardening. Once planted, it practically grows itself. Harvesting amaranth leaves. Harvesting greens. Amaranth produces two crops from one plant. Leaves first, then seeds. Maximizing both requires proper harvesting. When to harvest leaves. Begin when plants are 6 to 8 inches tall. Leaves are most tender at this stage. Continue harvesting until plants begin flowering, around 45 to 60 days. After flowering begins, leaves become tougher and production shifts to seeds. How to harvest. Cutting method. Cut top 4 to 6 inches of growth. Plant branches and produces more leaves. Picking method. Pick individual leaves. Take young tender leaves near growing tips. Never strip more than 30% of leaves at once. Plant needs leaves to continue growing. Harvest frequency. Every 7 to 10 days during active growth. Regular harvesting encourages continued leaf production. In hot weather, amaranth grows incredibly fast. You'll be amazed at regrowth. Quality indicators. Best leaves. Young, tender, bright-colored before flowering. Avoid mature, thick leaves after flowering. They're tough and require longer cooking. Yield. Leaf amaranth varieties produce continuously for 60 to 90 days. That's substantial greens from small space. Storing fresh leaves. Wash and dry. Store in plastic bag and refrigerator. Use within 3 to 5 days. Or cook immediately and refrigerate cooked greens up to 1 week. Using amaranth leaves. Cook like spinach or chard. Sauté. Add to soups. Use in stir-fries. Raw in salads when very young and tender. Higher in nutrients than spinach, especially calcium. In and iron. Harvesting amaranth seeds. Harvesting grain. Seed harvest requires timing and proper technique. Understanding the process ensures maximum yield. When to harvest. Seeds mature 90 to 120 days after planting, depending on variety. Watch for these signs. Lower leaves dry and drop naturally. Seed heads change color. Red varieties fade, green varieties brown. Seeds release easily when rubbed. Test by bending seed head over hand and shaking. If seeds fall, it's ready. Don't harvest too early. Immature seeds won't store and may mold. Don't wait too long. Birds will eat seeds. Seed heads shatter and scatter seeds. Harvest method. 1. Whole plant. Cut entire plant at base. Hang upside down in dry location with tarp underneath to catch dropping seeds. After 1 to 2 weeks of drying, strip seeds from heads. Harvest method. 2. Seed head only. Cut seed heads off plant. Lay on tarp in single layer in dry, warm location. Turn daily. Dry completely before threshing. Threshing. Small scale. Rub seed heads between hands over bucket. Seeds fall off easily when dry. Medium scale. Place dried heads in pillowcase or bag. Beat with stick. Seeds separate from chaff. Large scale. Spread on tarp, walk on it, or beat with flail. Winnowing. Pour seeds slowly from one container to another in gentle breeze. Chaff blows away, seeds fall into container. Or use fan on low setting. Same principle. Repeat until seeds are clean. Some chaff is fine. It's edible. Drying. Even after initial drying, seeds need final drying before storage. Spread thin on trays. Keep in warm, dry location 2 to 3 days. Seeds are fully dry when they crack rather than dent when bitten. Yield expectations. One plant produces 1/4 to 1/2 pound of seed depending on variety and conditions. A 10 by 10 foot plot with 20 plants yields 5 to 10 pounds of grain. That's substantial food production from small space. Storing and using amaranth. Preserving and preparing your harvest. Proper storage preserves your harvest. Understanding uses ensures you actually eat what you grow. Storing seeds. Completely dried seeds store for years. Place in airtight containers, glass jars, mylar bags, or plastic containers with tight lids. Store in cool, dark location. basement, pantry, or refrigerator. Label with variety and harvest date. Properly stored amaranth lasts 5+ years. Storing leaves. Fresh, refrigerate up to 5 days. Frozen, blanch, cool, freeze in bags. Lasts 8 to 12 months. Dried, dry like herbs. Crumble into flakes. Store in jars. Lasts 1 to 2 years. Using amaranth seeds. Cooking whole. Simmer 1 cup amaranth in 2.5 cups water for 20 minutes. Becomes porridge-like consistency. Use like oatmeal or grits. Popped amaranth. Heat dry pan very hot. Add 1 tablespoon seeds. Stir constantly. Seeds pop like tiny popcorn. Takes 15 to 30 seconds. Don't burn. Use in granola, mix with honey, or eat as snack. Ground into flour. Grind in grain mill, high-powered blender or coffee grinder. Use in baking. Mix 25% amaranth flour with 75% wheat flour for best results. 100% amaranth flour is dense, works for flatbreads. Sprouted. Soak overnight, rinse twice daily, sprouts in 2 to 3 days. Use in salads or sandwiches. Using amaranth leaves. Sauté with garlic and oil like spinach. Add to soups and stews. Use in omelets or quiches. Blend into smoothies. Use in any recipe calling for spinach or chard. Flavor profile. Seeds. Nutty, slightly peppery, earthy, mild enough for most palates. Leaves, similar to spinach but slightly earthier. Young leaves are mild. Nutritional use. Combine amaranth with beans or legumes for complete protein meal. Use as protein boost in smoothies or baking. Substitute for rice or quinoa in any recipe. Troubleshooting common problems. Solving amaranth growing issues. Amaranth is easy, but problems occasionally occur. Quick identification and solutions keep crops productive. Problem 1. Poor germination. Causes. Soil too cold, planted too deep, soil surface dried out, old seeds. Solutions. Wait for warm soil, 65 degrees Fahrenheit plus. Plant shallow, 1/4 inch. Keep surface moist until germination. Use fresh seeds. Problem 2. Seedlings disappear. Causes. Cutworms, slugs, birds eating tiny seedlings. Solutions. Use cutworm collars around seedlings. Sprinkle diatomaceous earth for slugs. Cover with row cover until established. Problem 3. Slow growth. Causes. Cold weather, waterlogged soil, severe nutrient deficiency. Solutions. Wait for warmth. Amaranth grows slowly below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Improve drainage. Side dress with compost if growth doesn't improve with warmth. Problem 4. Plants fall over. Causes. Too much nitrogen, insufficient spacing, weak stems from overwatering. Solutions. Avoid excessive fertilizer. Ensure proper spacing. Reduce watering frequency. Stake if necessary. Problem 5. Small seed heads. Causes. Crowding, insufficient sun, harvesting leaves too late into season, short growing season. Solutions. Thin plants properly. Ensure full sun. Stop leaf harvest when flowering begins. Choose varieties suited to your season length. Problem 6. Birds eating seeds. Causes. Birds love amaranth seeds. They'll harvest your crop if given chance. Solutions. Cover seed heads with mesh bags or floating row cover. Harvest promptly when mature. Use bird netting over entire patch. Problem 7. Seeds won't dry. Causes. High humidity, harvested too early, insufficient air circulation. Solutions. Harvest fully mature seeds only. Hang in dry location with good airflow. Use dehumidifier if needed. Turn frequently. Problem 8. Poor flavor. Causes. Wrong variety for intended use. Leaves too mature. Improper cooking. Solutions. Use varieties selected for food use. Harvest leaves young. Cook leaves like spinach. Don't overcook. From planting to harvest to table, Amaranth provides serious nutrition from minimal effort. If you're ready to grow real food crops, hit that like button. Advanced growing strategies coming next. Advanced growing strategies. Once you've mastered basic amaranth growing, these techniques maximize production from limited space. Succession planting. Plant every 2 to 3 weeks through early summer. This provides continuous leaf harvest and staggers seed harvest. In warm climates, plant through midsummer. Amaranth grows fast. You can fit 2 to 3 crops in one season. Intensive spacing. For greens only, plant densely, 4 to 6 inches apart. Harvest entire plants at 12 to 18 inches tall. Produces baby greens continuously. For grains, proper spacing, 12 to 18 inches, is essential. Don't compromise on grain production spacing. Intercropping. Amaranth grows tall. Use vertical space by underplanting with shade-tolerant crops. Plant lettuce, spinach, or radishes under mature amaranth. Amaranth shade extends cool season crop viability. Border planting. Plant amaranth around garden perimeter. It creates living fence, attracts beneficial insects, and produces food. Height provides windbreak for other crops. Trap cropping. Some pests prefer amaranth over other crops. Plant it near susceptible crops to draw pests away. Saving seeds for replanting. Select best plants for seed saving. Choose earliest to flower, largest seed heads, best disease resistance, most vigorous growth. Let these plants mature fully. Harvest and save seeds separately. Plant saved seeds next year. Over time, you develop amaranth adapted to your specific conditions. Container growing. Amaranth grows in large containers, minimum 5 gallons. Choose compact varieties or leaf types for containers. Use quality potting mix. Water more frequently than in-ground plants. Perfect for patios, balconies, or limited space gardening. Extending season. In mild climates, amaranth can be grown nearly year-round if protected from frost. Use row covers or cold frames to extend season in spring and fall. In greenhouses or polytunnels, amaranth produces through winter in many climates. The production potential. With proper techniques, 100 square feet produces 20 to 30 pounds of grain annually plus substantial quantities of greens. That's legitimate food security from small space. Why amaranth for food security? Amaranth as survival crop. Understanding amaranth's unique position as food security crop changes how you view it. Climate resilience. Amaranth thrives in heat that shuts down other crops. While corn and beans struggle at 95 degrees Fahrenheit plus, amaranth flourishes. Drought tolerance is exceptional. Once established, it survives on minimal water. As climate becomes more variable, amaranth's resilience increases its value. Nutritional density. Complete protein from plant source is rare. Amaranth provides it. Caloric density is high. 1 pound of amaranth contains roughly 1,600 calories. A family of 4 could survive on 10 pounds of amaranth monthly as staple. That's achievable from 200 square feet of garden. Storage stability. Properly dried seeds store 5+ years. This is long-term food security. Contrast with vegetables that must be preserved or eaten fresh. Grain crops provide storage stability. Minimal input requirements. No fertilizer required, no pesticides needed. Minimal water after establishment. If supply chains broke down, amaranth would still produce. It doesn't need external inputs. Multi-use value. Seeds for grain, leaves for vegetables. Entire plant has value. One crop providing multiple foods increases food security. Historical proof. Amaranth sustained civilizations for thousands of years. It's proven at scale over time. Not experimental, not unproven. Historical track record validates its value. Economic value. Producing your own amaranth saves money immediately. Amaranth flour costs $8 to $15 per pound retail. Growing yourself drops cost to near zero after initial seed purchase. the food security argument. If you're serious about producing actual food, not just supplemental vegetables, amaranth belongs in your garden. It's one of few crops providing real sustenance from small space with minimal inputs. And there you have it, complete guide to growing amaranth from seed to harvest to table. This ancient superfood fed empires and nearly disappeared from cultivation. Now you know how to bring it back to your garden. From planting tiny seeds to harvesting pounds of nutritious grain, amaranth is one of the most productive crops you can grow. Complete protein, drought tolerance, minimal care, substantial yields. It checks every box for serious food production. Your ancestors understood amaranth's value. For thousands of years, it sustained civilizations. Then we forgot. Now we're remembering. Every garden growing food should include amaranth. It's that important. Here's what to do right now. First, I'll hit that like button if you're ready to grow amaranth this season. This information needs to reach people serious about food production. Second, order amaranth seeds today. Don't wait. Get them ordered so you're ready to plant when conditions are right. Third, leave a comment telling me what you'll use amaranth for. Seeds? Leaves? Both? I want to hear your plans. Fourth, subscribe and turn on notifications. I share serious food production content for people growing real sustenance, not just hobby gardens. Next week, I'm covering how to grow quinoa, another ancient superfood making a comeback. You won't want to miss that. Thanks for watching. Now go grow amaranth. Experience what your ancestors knew. Produce real food from your garden. Amaranth is powerful, productive, and proven. It's time for its comeback. And your garden is where that comeback starts. Happy growing!